Happy Cinco de Mayo for everybody. Hope you're all getting tanked somewhere. When you get home drunk tonight, you can watch this video and see if you can remember the stuff that I'm teaching today. But if not, and you're sober and you're at work and you're dealing with drunk assholes and you got to lock people up, it's okay, man. I've been there. I understand your pain, but I'm here to help you and give you some stuff to learn today. Take with you. Maybe you'll use it at Cinco de Mayo at your local Mexican restaurant where they're hosting something large and a big extravaganza, and you'll be locking people up because they're acting like assholes. Anyway, God forbid. God forbid that would ever happen, right? Today we talk about motor vehicle settings and outside of those motor vehicle settings, consent searches. And what people don't realize a lot of times is that you don't need reasonable suspicion to ask for consent to search outside of the motor vehicle settings. What does that mean? I mean, literally, you could hypothetically walk up to houses, knock on doors, and ask for consent to search without any reasonable suspicion at all. You could approach people in airports, bus stops, on the road, anywhere you want, and ask them for consent to search of their person or their bags or their personal belongings without violating any rights. Now, this isn't a common thing that happens, but you must know the facts are the facts. And this video is provoked off a message I got from a guy. I'm not going to mention his name. I know the one guy who sent me the thing on State versus Robinson. I'm going to do that. I promise you it's going to be coming up this weekend. Hopefully I'll get to it either tomorrow or Sunday. But we're going to talk about this one. And I don't know how to say it, but it's State versus Domicz. I think it's Polish, so I'm going to say Domish. That seems like it makes sense. But here's what it said in Domish. Now, Domish was they had a cop who was driving by a house, hitting the house with a infrared gun, noticing that there was a lot of infrared heat coming off the house, and they suspected it was a marijuana grow. A bunch of cops show up there. They knock on the house. They have no reason to get a warrant. They really don't even have reasonable suspicion at this point. The courts have said this is really not even reasonable suspicion. And they ask him for consent to search. The guy grants consent. They find over 100 marijuana plants in his basement. He comes back and says, No, I never gave him consent. But the bottom line is the courts analyzed whether or not you needed reasonable suspicion to ask for consent to search in a home setting. And what they said is you don't need it anywhere outside of a motor vehicle setting. Now, you have to understand something. The reason you needed reasonable suspicion to ask for consent to search in the state of New Jersey was because years ago when a certain very large agency got in a lot of trouble for racial profiling, this is what the courts did to try to fix that from ever happening again. It was that more than just creed, color, religion, ethnicity, race, you name it, you would need something else to explain in your report why you asked for consent to search. And they didn't want phishing going on. They were just asking anybody for consent to search. So that's why the RAS in the ruling was CARTY, C-A-R-T-Y, that made officers, they needed the requirement of reasonable suspicion before they asked for consent to search. So I'm going to read this to you, and then I'll obviously post the verbiage on here, and you guys can click on this link, and you can show your supervisors for whatever, if they don't believe it. But that's okay. We're here to make believers out of them. So, and believers out of you too. Believers out of listen. I've had just as many patrolmen that were skeptical and were like, "Well, I can't believe you're right, dude. I can't believe you're right. I can't believe." It's just amazing to me. I was on the phone with my, I think I said yesterday in the video, I was on the phone with my wife's uncle who's an attorney, and we were laughing, and I was telling him some things that guys, I said, we're talking about like State versus Pierce, when guys don't arrest when they have somebody for a motor vehicle violation, and they don't know who they are, and they're not getting identification from them. And I goes, well, what do they do then? And I go, and this is an attorney, he's a defense attorney. I go, they let them go, or they write the fake name on a ticket, let him go. And he was like, what? Who does that? And I'm like, he's like, what? How do you know who he is? And he's like, do they know about State versus Pierce and State versus Lark? And I'm like, Steve, I'm telling you, you're not going to believe the stories that I hear in the uncut. He's like, what are these people doing? So even an attorney found some of that stuff that agencies are afraid to use. And I said, one guy said that he didn't think case law was real, and he goes, case law is everything we go off of. I'm a friggin' defense attorney. Everything that I do is case law. What is wrong with these people? So he was having a fit over the fact that, and he's a very, very sharp attorney. But I bring him in. He's reviewed my material. It's just enjoyable to talk about it with him because, some of these people, I mean, you guys, I just don't get where the thought process is with some of the things that everybody's doing. But anyway, I'm going to read the verbiage from it. And New Jersey Supreme Court held that the police do not need a reasonable and articulable suspicion of criminal activity in a home or business to justify requesting consent to conduct a search of the premises. Such consent searches do not suffer the specific problems that had attended motor vehicle stops in the state, namely racial profiling on our highways, and the widespread abuse of our existing law that allowed officers to obtain consent searches of every motor vehicle stop, even the most minor traffic violation. The reasonable suspicion standard has no application to consent searches in airports, bus terminals, train stations, college dormitories, private homes, or business premises. Wow, right there. So I'm going to attach this. And then, tomorrow I'm going to explore a little bit more into consent to search and when you're allowed to do it, some other things. And we talk about we'll talk about a case that came out, and then we'll talk about asking people who have combat authority. I'll go into that tomorrow a little bit too, and Sunday we'll do the State versus Robinson one. But I don't want to. Thanks for the heart, whoever that was. The heart. Hopefully that was a chick. If it wasn't a dude, but most likely it was a dude sending a heart. I really appreciate it. Name yourself. Who was that? Who sent the heart? If you guys have questions, write into me. Remember, if you're sending me a message and we're not friends and I'm not responding to it, try to post on this group and let me know, because or post on the page, because I won't see it. I have to go into message requests every night. I do it every night, but sometimes I forget. So if you have questions you want to write in, certainly be my guest to do so. There's a lot of guys I talk to on the phone every day, and this is it, man. This is why I'm trying to change things, get everybody educated, and I'm getting a lot of real good feedback from guys going out and doing better police work. And good for you guys. It's not about me. It's about you. A little bit about me, but more so it's about you. So just win. I want you to win. I want to give you the brain power up here to go out and win. And that's, the more I knew as a cop, the more I won. And my cases were bulletproof. And I want you guys to have the same results. Guys aren't even taking the training. They're watching these videos and doing some great stuff. So keep up the good work. Get to the training courses. They're very good. You will leave a new cop. And you'll see some testimony that we shot a video yesterday from some police officers that have attended the training, and they're going to give you a testimony on my website. Not yet. The website video I don't like, so we're switching up, doing something different. But you'll see some people scroll through the page. Scroll through the friggin' page. You'll see what other people experience in the class. But have a good night, guys. And I don't have a tank top on today, so can't poke fun. Hey guys, if you like this video, click the subscribe button below. We're going to put a lot of stuff here on YouTube. You don't want to miss any of this stuff. It's all super valuable and can help you do your job better.